welcome back, Anne-Chloé and me, back in our chit-chatting space on Saturdays.
Thank you, Christina. Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Me too. And I would love to explore one question today. And you said you also brought something with you. And let's see how we can weave it into each other. So my
Yeah.
question, which I bring in, is how do you think um, how do you think work is and working together as a couple is emphasizing or nourishing or supporting an extraordinary relationship? And I
I'm glad
asked,
that you bring this topic up
yeah,
because, I know that he has done a Rage Club space holder training, and I'm thinking they should do Rage Club together. And so I've been thinking about you. Okay,
yeah,
but I want to hear what you figured out.
yeah, for me, because when I'm looking around and mm, the couples who inspire me, let's say this, who inspire me on and and who um, create kind of a pull towards them, which attracts me, are mainly couples who are working together and create something together, and who share this space. And it's not like, okay, my husband goes to work and I'm doing this on my own, but like really come bring it together and create something together. So and there's a longing in me, I can say. There's a longing in me, and I already worked for some workshops with my husband together, but it's not yet like this, okay, this is our business or our baby we create together. And there's a longing in me, and i'm I'm just exploring, like, what is this longing about? And as I know you're working together with your partner, um, I I'm curious to hear what is the differences, because I'm assuming you had also partners before, and I'm not sure if you if you worked with them, but I know now
Hmm.
it's like this. So what are your insights about that?
Yeah, I mean, there was a few things that came up when you were speaking, and well, if I start there is we have five bodies. If we work with our five bodies, the physical, intellectual, emotional, the energetic, and our archetypal body. And the archetypal body is this body that brings forth our mission or our work, like you would say. This what are we doing here? And what I what I was exploring really in the beginning is of oh, let me see, the ecstasy that I have to being in a relationship is, and now I have the clarity, is I want to be in relationship with somebody who I have five body ecstasy with, five body intimacy with. And uh, and so that means that we would be somehow in a similar physical space, that we would engage in physical intimacy, and but and I would say, so intellectual, emotional, energetic, and archetypal. And actually, I have, how can I feed all my five bodies like that in this intimacy if I'm not working, if I'm not creating or sourcing a project with my partner? And I mean, we've been working also with couple and doing intimacy journey, and having this question come up, and and we've noticed that most couples, most relationship people have maybe one, two, or three body intimacy together. So, and basically if they have one body, it's probably something like physical, and so they live together and have sex sometimes together. And if they have physical and intellectual, often it means that they do logistics together and plan vacation, and on top of living together and having sex. Okay, if they have some form of emotional intimacy, then that means they're sharing, they're already able to feel, and being able to share these feelings and listen to the feelings and completing. And so in energetic intimacy is more subtle. Energetic intimacy is, okay, this is my space, this is your space. How can we dance together? How can we notice what's going on with each other? How can we pay attention to these like subtle detail that happening at the energetic level, and the change of mood and the change of direction or intention, and being able to negotiate that. And then the archetypal body intimacy is this, I mean, if I go in this direction, it seems to me that there's this force at work that we've called this force, we didn't invent the name, somebody else invented the name, the force of the Earth Coincidence Control Office, ECHO. And that ECHO has this moves people around so that they can meet each other, so that when they meet, they can ignite each other, and it makes firework. And that has to do with the archetypal body of what kind of firework can be created. And whatever, I think most people, and that's actually how I would weave what I wanted to bring, is most people that I've encountered have a form of like an idea about what relationship is, a constructive relationship, and it's like, in a way, it's frozen in time. It's a frozen picture, vision, image that they should live up to or become that. And anyway, there's a lot of layers to that, but that would block ECHO from, or by not being in the here and like small here, small now, small me, small you, it would block ECHO from moving them into what is, and I'm opening this topic to more than a primary relationship, or husband and wife or romantic relationship, is, okay, you need to move so you can talk to this person and ignite their 5 bodies. And so, and what I then realize is, okay, the kind of relationship that I want to have, and sort of across the board with my sisters and colleagues and friends and my, let's say, primary partner, is I'm looking for 5 body intimacy, 5 body ecstasy. And because that's where I have the most fun, and it's a choice, but that's where I have the most fun. And yeah,
great. And what you said, like, just, it's a choice. First you need to, like, this is your driver. The choice that you choose, this is your inner driver. And I think what you just described, actually it's happening with everyone, but very on a unconscious way. It's not this free choice. I think something is moving us around anyway, but more by chance. And it might be that we are opening then our eyes to see, actually, this is the match, right? Because first you focus on something, you are opening the door, and then, or you go in a direction, and then you see what will happen. I really like this. And this is also what somehow is this inner driver of, okay, what is the next step, and what is blocking that it's not already there. And what I think is, like, what I hear is also that it builds up, right? Like, that you need to have already 4 body intimacy to open up into the next level, right? This is how I understand it. And that you cannot reach this level. It's just building up, one layer after the next, that you tap into this field of synchronicities also. Would you say these are these synchronicities in life, which then you would call echo? Is this?
Yes, I mean, coincidence and synchronicity. It's like we're talking about these forces at work that are at work in our life. And I mean, there would be a lot of things, like you say, that would be in the way, that would block these bigger forces. I mean, in a way, I was not born with this education or this experience radically rely on the universe. My parents are saying radically rely on your head, like on your mind, but also my mom radically rely on your ability to get a man and be sexy and be attractive, because if you have a man by your side, you'll be safe. And radically rely on, and that was more my dad's side, radically rely on having a good job and having money and having that kind of safety. And so I think that the programs, our idea of relationship, I mean, even, you just noticed it in passing, but somehow it's such a huge program that says, I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to wake up in the morning and both going to go to our jobs and then come back at night and be together. And we relate, like there is this huge program in us that relates to relationship as, okay, that's how adult people live, because we've seen our parents do that. Or mom would stay at home and, my mom stayed at home and took us to school and made lunch for us and then, did the housewife thing. And then dad was gone and come back late and barely was there for dinner and whatever. And on the weekends he would have, dinner with friends. And so there's this, I think way more layers of these programs of there is an imprint of what a primary relationship with our husband or boyfriend or partner goes. And in a way, it's those unconscious, they sort of click in, we move together or we get married, and then those programs those are tapes. And so you put the tape in and then it unfolds. And so it's worth, I don't know. I mean, I would even want to hear, what are your programs running, or like, what was your parents like that, you've noticed that you've copied or
yeah,
because I think it's true for a lot of people, and I think it would help people to really get, God, actually, this is my parents, or this is my grandparents or my friend's parents or whatever.
Yeah, totally. It's like I grew up in a household where dad was working and he was not available at all. It's like emotionally, but also physically. He was definitely, there for the holidays. He was there, but then he just wanted to relax and he did the barbecue, I remember. So, and my mom was at home and she cooked and she did the household, and it was classical, very classical, until I was 14. And then she started to work part-time. And then, actually very soon my dad got kicked out of job. So I also discovered, or like I also had in my family, like this shift around, that my mom was actually working and my dad stayed at home, and he started to cook, and he was not really doing the household, but he started to cook and to shop, etc. So how I was related to this is, like, for me, there was really this program also, like building a home, building a house, because we created a house. My parents built a house, was really something I was tapping into. Like, I want to have my own space, and even now I'm living in a community, I feel still that there's like building a home, having something together, even it's a little caravan, like it's there's it's still there, there's still something driving in me, and I need to check from moment to moment, is it really something I want to maintain, and I can choose it. It's not a bad thing anymore, because yeah, I had judgments a lot, for sure, about my parents, and how they lived their life, and that's why I'm also living in a community. It's so different, in a different culture, but I was really also avoiding them, and how they are communicating, and they are still communicate, they are just fighting. And I'm so like, it was hard for me to keep the contact, like especially when they are together, and together talking, and be with them in one space. um, Meanwhile, it's easier and it's fine, and I can just be with them and enjoy their beings, even um, it's hard to reach. And or sometimes I choose to have box conversations with them, and that's also fine. It's like, this is what goes there. But yeah, to come back to your question, like how my parents influenced my picture of a relationship, is um, that I copied paste, but I also just did not want to have anything like this. Like I was also very much avoiding. For me, like children was not a choice at all until I was 30. I was like, no, I don't do this. Like, when parenting or life is like this, I don't want to be a mom, or like I want to, and to put even children in such a world. It was for me like not. I found really nice excuses and reasons, and said, yeah, this is not in my life path. But actually, it was so, because I could not stand that this, my own pain was projected into this decision, that yeah, I did not want to do that. It changed as soon as I healed more and more.
Yeah.
So, and I don't, I really don't know. There is something, for example, what I discovered some months ago, that I'm, I feel really like my mom when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, that I see myself. There is something really relaxing in me, that um, I'm accepting also this part, because I was so avoiding this part. Um, like to bake something, because baking was always her thing. Cooking is okay, but baking was her thing, and I was avoiding baking. And now
Mm.
I'm starting to bake, and I see myself, like I can see me, but also my mom through more lovingly eyes, and say, okay, um, I can also choose this. It's not an inner rebellion anymore. Um, and and there
And
was also, yeah.
well, I wanted to add, somehow it's been in my field, and there's things to check, like I think a lot around, children or child raising or money. Who brings in the money? And both, from both sides, the men needing to say, well, I only have value in the relationship if I'm bringing in money and I'm the caretaker, and I'm making enough money. And if they're not, this like complete shame, or like I'm inadequate as a man in a relationship. But also the woman, which I've heard more recently, saying, well, I don't know if I can be in a relationship with a man who can't provide money.
Mm.
And it comes from those both ways. And so there's money, and then there's sex, and the whole domain of sex, which I'm really diving into and exploring about. Okay, what are my patriarchal programs about sex, and really this one that was this distinction that was given to me about the patriarchal relationship in sex is the man is entitled to be rewarded by his partner, and the woman feels obligated to reward. And I felt so stuck in this program of he's entitled and I'm obligated, and then my whole, because of my being able to reclaim my anger, then I have this whole I'm not giving into that, but then there's no intimacy. And so it's like, okay, I'm like deconstructing each part of that so I can go back to zero and mean, okay, what is my sexuality? Like, how is my body wanna like bodies really actually to have sexuality in 5 bodies? How do I wanna create that? And so I think those big domains like money and sex and, power, or, who gets to decide when we move somewhere? Is it because of somebody's job? Is it a decision? Is it, my partner and I are nomads, so we own about 10 kilos of stuff, and we move with our work. So, and because we work together, then it's a decision that's, okay, do we want to put our efforts into this? And so we have made it so that there's no sacrifice, there's no compromise about, are we leaving the country? Are we moving to another city? Or, but all of these things need to be, there's so many layers of construct to deconstruct, like to take out layers of.
Totally. Like I went also through different phases, especially the money topic, when we like when with my partner now, it was we moved to Switzerland, and then first, and we both are Europeans, so it is not so easy to land in Switzerland with no permit. You need to get a permit to work, and so it was first me taking over this part of earning money to be able to land, and I really saw also that it was not so, it was easy to get a job for me, more easy, so I did this. But then I felt like when it's not in balance, it was so draining. I really felt like when I'm kind of hold my masculine part, like I'm holding space on a financial level, and my feminine part could not even be there for months. Like it was there, but it was not really alive. I really hold its space. I realized, like, when it would have been like this, an ongoing story, this would have been not really a nourishing relationship. And then what was then changing was that my partner, he got a job, and then he brought the main part of the money in. And then what was for me a huge shift was, okay, I bring the money, and you can check your self-employment. You can build whatever, relax, and do. You can also do nothing for some months. Just be who you are, and I will take care. And that freaked me fucking out. It was like, no, I need to pay back. Like I was literally, in the evening when he came home, I was like, okay, I did the laundry, I cooked, I did this. And then he came and like, why you say this? Why do you tell me this? You don't need to prove that you did something. And I realized, like, wow, I was so scared that I need to give something back, and if not, like I'm not this strong woman, independent strong woman I was before. And so for me to allow myself and let lose of the control in me, that I need to do it on my own, because this is my one of my core beliefs. Like, I need to do it on my own in different kind of segments of my life. I It was hard time to surrender, but it was so good. Once I allowed myself, and then especially women, they asked me like, and what are you doing at the moment? And I was like, okay, I'm building up my business, and I'm so happy that I have this luxury that my partner brings the money in at the moment. And I was like, fuck, hey, I felt so unworthy saying this for a while, and then it shifted and shifted and shifted into I could like expand myself into this new space, and meanwhile it's better. And now we have a totally different constellation, that he dropped out of his job, and I'm the main money maker at the moment. But it's like we are finding now the balance. It's really it feels a bit like we had this sinus curve, and we go from one side to the next, and then we are starting to balance and create something new together. And but yeah, that's work, I would say. And to allow yourself to jump into new spaces and into the unknown, and you have no idea what there will be. Like, I was so afraid when he said, I want to quit my job, I don't want to work for 3 months. I was like, ugh, oh my gosh, we will run out of money, right? And for sure I went through all this again, but now like we are still fine, and it's everything is good. It's like I went through my fears of, and I think this is the also the ecstasy, what you how you say it, how you name it, of being in such a relationship to experiment together. And it's real at the same time, right? It's like, it's really, or whatever real is, it's not like just a game. It and this opens up in me so much joy to be together in this aliveness, even it is so scary in between. But it's like, yes, it worked again, and there's a next milestone, which is like what, like an inner milestone, an inner reference point of, I'm not dying, actually I'm super alive. It's fun, it's high level fun.
Yeah, I mean, I want to, and then so now I want to circle back. I think it makes now more sense to have this question of working together, because when you say working together, there's also children is working together, and figuring out money is working together, and sex and power. But you were starting with this idea of sourcing like a project together, or sourcing
Yes.
I don't have any other words than project. And I would have this question of what is your, it seems like there's a longing, or there's a question, or door opening, or this milestone after, or after these milestones have happened, that there's this other path that is opening now as a possibility.
Yes. And you're interested in what I'm longing for, or what is the real question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Like for me, what it's like this dance together to create something together, and take ownership of for example, I created already something and built something, my self-employment, and I people know me already a bit, right? Like, and we could use this together, and dance and expand this even more. And then at the same time, he could evolve his things. Like, it's this ownership. I think this is more like, now I'm self-employed, right? Like on the paper, it's just me doing this Beziehungsdesign, and it's okay, and I can do it. And there's a capacity which I don't want to do everything on my own. It's just boring. It's super boring. And when I did these projects, especially with women together, we were thriving. We had so much fun, and it was so cool. We could share the tasks, and then we had fun together. And especially when it comes to technical things, marketing, say, like this doing together is so much more fun, and to support each other, and to, for example, just when you do a video and you're not just speak to the camera, but the person would sit behind the camera and you would speak to the person. It makes a difference. And all these little experiments, yeah, this is what I'm longing for. And yeah, I don't see it happening together, not yet, because there's also yeah, like his development is on another point of another point, and my personal development is on another point, and it depends, yeah, if we are meeting and slowly aligning. And sometimes I can see already potentials far before they are happening. So it's also to build up, but not to push too much, and because I don't want to carry a person into something. It needs to be like the free will, right? The commitment, the own commitment of both people fueling a project together. So yeah, so the longing
well,
is
I want to offer, because I remember in the beginning of me working in possibility management and holding space with somebody who'd been doing it for 45 years, and I was this baby, and at the same time the ongoing door being open of we can be in this space together, and also playing with the masculine and the feminine, especially when we're talking about, you know, space holding and transformation and evolution, and there was always this door for me and my being and my feminine and my archetypal lineage that had a space to come through until I got to hold the same kind of space, like the same amount of space, let's say. And so in the beginning there was this, you know, like, yeah, dissonance, or not dissonance, but like difference of amount of space holding. And, you know, it reminds me of your story about money and like this, you know, the sinus. And it's like, okay, why it can, I think it can also be like that because of, and this is maybe more in this world of people doing evolution or transformation or healing, is that when we're in a relationship, having this assumption that we're going to be healing at the same pace, or we're going to be evolving at the same pace or in the same direction. And it's a hard fantasy to crash against the reality that we're unique beings, and that we have our own pace and our own direction and our own, and that, and to negotiate that, or to dance with that, and to really dance with that at this level also of archetypal body ecstasy and project ecstasy, and so yeah,
yeah, and like we came to this point actually where there was this sentence of like, my box does not want and my being wants. So it's like, okay, what can I do about it, right? Like it's already obvious, like I cannot really do something about it. It's like my partner, it's his decision if he wants to deconstruct his box, right? And then go for it or not. It's like, okay, I'm here. This is where I am. It's like I'm here, curious, and also actually checking my box, like, okay, I believing in this, okay, we are resonating in a way, I'm attracting. Also, why do I need to, or why do I meet resistance in the field? So how is my box resonating with this, like where is my own resistances in for that. So this is what I'm doing, like I'm checking my own blind spots at the moment, like, and yeah, let's see if something is shifting. And yeah, the results or like the consequences will evolve. I don't know the future yet, but let's
I
see.
want to. I know we're getting a little bit close to the end. I'm just wanting
Yeah.
to throw in the mix, which is a pretty underworld. Like it would be ending on a pretty underworld note, but why not? And
Why
it's
not?
this thing about, if I go to work or my husband go to work, or whoever is your partner, and it's like, okay, what's going to happen if we live 24/7 together, which is what I'm doing with my partner, where we live in the same house together, we work in the same house together, and we go on walks together, and sometimes I wake up or I have this, God, we really spend 24/7 together, and it's working. And I remember, like you mentioned, past relationship where I would have not decided for that. I needed to have my own space, and also because then I could have my secrets, so I can like flirt with the next person, so I can watch the movies that I want to watch, so that I can have my secret life. If I'm not working, like I'm not living 24/7, then I can have my secret life, and it's protected. And it's like, okay, well, that might be something worth looking into, about, okay, how much of a secret life you want to hold on to, that would be blocking this living, working, playing, dancing together, like, yeah, almost 24/7. So
Yeah. And maybe this is also something what we can discuss next time. It's like this, when it kicks in, like that both partners want to create their own, whatever this means, right? And like who in us wants that, and what does it mean? And like yeah, I would love to next time when we see each other, maybe this is a nice bridge that we can discover this. And maybe there's
great.
another question, but to already throw it into the field and see
Into the mixed,
if
yeah.
it's still bubbling, or yeah.
Well,
Thank you very much again for this talk. Always a pleasure. And see you next time.
thank you very much, Christine. Yes, in a couple of weeks.